October 22, 1962, a day when the world stood on the edge of nuclear disaster. As tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union reached their peak, the Cuban Missile Crisis became a terrifying reminder of the Cold War's destructive potential. Let's briefly introduce the event and establish why it's relevant to understand how the world came so close to a nuclear war. The background of the crisis. After years of cold, ideological conflict, the placement of Soviet ballistic missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from the U.S. shores, sent shockwaves through Washington. Talk about the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, the U.S.'s attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro, and how it fueled distrust between Cuba, the Soviet Union, and the United States. Kennedy's address. On October 22, President John F. Kennedy took to the airwaves to deliver a somber address. He revealed the presence of Soviet nuclear missiles on Cuban soil and announced a naval blockade to prevent further military shipments. Include excerpts from JFK's speech. Highlight how his calm yet firm tone was meant to assure the American people while warning the Soviets of the consequences of escalation. The world on the brink. As the crisis unfolded, citizens feared the worst. The world watched as two nuclear superpowers seemed to head toward inevitable conflict, discussed the international response, global fears, and how even allies of both countries were uncertain about the outcome. Show clips of military preparations and how everyday people reacted to the possibility of nuclear war. While tensions were high, diplomacy behind the scenes was just as intense. Secret communications between President Kennedy and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev paved the way for a peaceful resolution, but not without last-minute drama. Talk about how back-channel negotiations led to the removal of the missiles, averting disaster. Show historical telegrams between Kennedy and Khrushchev. The aftermath. On October 28, after tense days that felt like an eternity, the Soviets agreed to remove their missiles from Cuba. In return, the U.S. secretly promised to remove its Jupiter missiles from Turkey. Explain the long-term impact of the crisis. How it led to the establishment of the direct hotline between Washington and Moscow, and its role in shaping future Cold War diplomacy. The Cuban Missile Crisis remains one of the most significant moments of the Cold War. It showed the fragility of peace in a nuclear age and the importance of diplomacy. How close are we today to repeating such history? End with a thought-provoking question about the relevance of nuclear diplomacy in today's geopolitical landscape. If you found this deep dive into the Cuban Missile Crisis fascinating, be sure to subscribe for more historical insights. Comment below on what you think would have happened if the crisis had escalated. Hit the like button, and don't forget to share this video with anyone who loves Cold War history.